Dr. Melody Kelly. I am Dr. Johnson's city councilwoman. He lived in my district in Sandy Springs, but what I hope to communicate was that we were much closer than that. But I'll start with just that introduction. I just want to start the way everyone else has started, by acknowledging his family and his church family. I am honestly just beginning to measure the impact that Dr. Johnson has had. It's something I'm still processing. I can speak to his impact on me, and that's my intention, but I know that for me, he was a scholarly mentor, a forthright and plain-speaking political advisor, and a wonderful friend and community leader. So he's all that to me in the short period of time I knew him. I can only imagine what he's meant to you. So my condolences. I'm sorry for your loss. I am going to really enjoy using the phrase Dr. Johnson without him saying, "Call me Alvin."
That's right.
So I just want to warn you, you're going to hear Dr. Johnson a lot during my remarks, because I like to put respect on his name. But he never let me do that when we spoke one-on-one. I met Dr. Johnson a few years ago, similar to Mr. Carter. I was this sort of hotshot political candidate. I was full of hubris and arrogance. I thought I knew everything. And very foolishly, I believed that Sandy Springs did not have black leadership. I was going to be the first African-American elected, blah, blah, blah. Dr. Johnson quickly, and in his characteristically humble yet intellectual manner, dispelled me of that notion. And he delivered a comprehensive lesson on the works of people like our Pastor Henry Bush and Mr. Oz Hill and the work they did in Sandy Springs. Dr. Johnson has been an active volunteer and servant in the city of Sandy Springs since before there was a city of Sandy Springs. It came as a great shock to me when he finally stepped down from the Board of Appeals. Y'all, I thought he'd preside over variances forever. You see, to the extent that there is or ever has been a steady black leadership in Sandy Springs, Dr. Johnson was the face of it.
That's right.
After the election, which was successful, we committed to quarterly check-ins. We talk politics, we talk about the American South, we talk about history, genealogy, life, and church. I had many questions, and he had many stories. I had a lot of energy, and he had the wisdom that tempered and focused it. Thanks to Dr. Johnson, next Sunday, the city of Sandy Springs will celebrate Juneteenth. As a matter of policy, we appropriate resources to a community celebration, and our staff have an additional day off starting this calendar year. What people don't know is that before any of the policy, any of the events, when Juneteenth in Sandy Springs was just a notion in my mind, a little light bulb, the first phone call I made, the first email, the first meeting I had was with Dr. Johnson and Pastor Bush. I don't know if you remember that, Pastor.
Yes.
Okay. I met with them before I talked to anyone because I wanted their advice, and most importantly, I wanted Dr. Johnson's blessing. And that sums up what I will miss most: his advice and the validation of his blessings. I read the obituary, and I'm a scholar too. I've had to mark it up in some places. And I'm looking at the line where it says, most often he was the first black person to hold the position. Let me tell y'all, there are a lot of people in this world who understand how to navigate the nuanced complexities, challenges, and opportunities that exist when you are determined to be more than a symbolic minority leader, when you are determined to be more than a token. There aren't a lot of people who get it, and now there is one less. But this is the legacy. This is what will live in me. From Dr. Johnson's example, it is entirely possible to be a fierce advocate who shapes and impacts your community, to be an effective leader, even if, and particularly when, you are not the loudest, most flamboyantly verbose person in the room. Integrity and scholarship are enough. I will hold on to that. Thank you for listening to me. I know I went over your next time.